guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Elise. If this is your first time here, welcome. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make roach clips, the little gun roach clips, using the gun mold that I have. That's what you see here in the picture. And I'm also going to show you how to make the self-defense keychains that these molds you can also get on Amazon.
And they're really sharp, especially if you're using a hard resin, which I suggest. They are really sharp. So here is the mold that I'm using. I did clip the mold slightly just so I can add in the alligator clip. So because I do clip it slightly, what you can do, I actually have ordered silicone rubber bands, so you can actually use like that to make sure that it stays together. But what I typically do, I just wait for the resin to get really thick and then pour it into the mold, because once it's really thick, it's not going to seep out of the mold. So now I'm just mixing up my part A and my part B, and I'm going to go ahead and mix that up, and I'm going to speed up this process. But so it's gonna look like I'm mixing it up really fast, but definitely make sure you mix it steady but not super fast, because that's how you create micro bubbles. And while you're watching the video, please make sure to go ahead and like and subscribe and hit that bell button so that you get notified whenever new videos of mine pop up. So now that I'm finished mixing, and I can tell because it's completely clear and no streaks are throughout the resin, I'm going to add my alcohol inks. I'm just mixing up a blue and green color because that's like kind of the color that the glitter is that I'm going to be using. Sometimes I don't use alcohol inks. It just depends. It just depends whatever look you're going for. You can use mica powders, or you can use nothing at all with your glitter. Each of those products give a completely different look. I love to use them all. And actually, you'll see right there, I'm adding a little blue mica powder to make it a bit more opaque. Because when you add the alcohol inks, they're not opaque. They're very, very much translucent, but that's what I love about them. And sometimes I'll add, like I just did, a little mica powder just to give it a little more pizzazz, make it just slightly more opaque. And here's my glitter. So now that my glitter is mixed in and it's a pretty good consistency, it's enough glitter in it for me, I'm going to let it sit up and thicken for about 10-15 minutes. And then I'm going to add it to my molds. And like I said in my last video, anytime I mix something up, I will usually make some beads. I really enjoy making resin beads and adding them to the roach clips. So honestly, you can do so much with them. You can make them into necklaces, bracelets. You can do a lot with the resin beads. You can be as creative as you absolutely want to. Now I'm just poking my beads with this toothpick so that I get out any air bubbles that there may be. And once I do this and clean it up a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and also spray it with the alcohol. I don't use the torches a lot. I mostly only use the torches for my trays, because on your molds over time it really wears them out, and it can cause your resin to get so hot that your resin sticks to your mold, and it does ruin your mold. So I don't usually do that too much anymore. So now here I am pouring the resin into the little self-defense keychain molds. Like I said, I'm pretty messy with this, but that's the beauty of it. If you're someone that's neat, they'll look great. If you're somebody that's messy like me, they'll still look great, because once you take them out, all you have to do is just clean them up, cut the little excess off, and you're good. And it's kind of really hard to be neat when you're using the thicker glitters. This is the gun. I did add a little crystal lac to the front of it because for whatever reason the gun mold, it's not shiny. The front of it isn't shiny when you take it out. But yeah, that's that. And the self-defense keychains, I usually let those set up in the mold for about 2 days. Oh, there's the pretty bead that I made. But yeah, I let those set up for about 2 days because they're so long and thin that if you don't, they'll still be bendy. But yeah, I'm gonna have to clean up those beads. But like I said, if you watch my previous video, it's really easy to do. So it's no way you can mess up on these projects. They're just that easy. So the thicker pieces, I am able to go ahead and take those out. Like this piece, I can go ahead and take that out before the 2 days. But the other thinner ones, I do let those set up a couple of days until they get really hard, because the resin, it fully cures after 72 hours. The one that I use does, and most of them, that's typically the time. Like you can demold them within about 8 to 12 hours depending on your resin, but for them to be fully cured and hard, it's usually about 72 hours. And if your piece is really thin, sometimes it can take even longer than that. But yeah, I'm just gonna take them out and get them cleaned up like I did the beads.